to hear from. If you believe you can offer clear, strategic thoughts that drive better results than you're getting today. If you believe you are someone with even better ideas than what you came up with yesterday, then you will enjoy this study with me. What will we cover? We are going to be covering all the chapters. There are 11 chapters in this book. We will be covering all the chapters, and there are 2 additional lessons that we are going to learn, which is what is the key to success and the conclusion about what are your next steps, because we do not want to leave you alone with just the lessons. Let me just briefly introduce myself. My name is Anupama. I am a certified speaker, coach, and trainer with the John Maxwell team. I have recently launched myself as an entrepreneur, and I'm in the process of building my business and adding value to others across the globe. What is the key to success? Where success is concerned, people are not measured in inches or pounds or college degrees or family background. They are measured by the size of their thinking. That's what David J. Schwartz says in The Magic of Thinking Big. What does Dale Carnegie say? Dale Carnegie says, the biggest lesson I have ever learned is the stupendous importance of what we think. If I knew what you think, I would know what you are. For your thoughts make you what you are. By changing our thoughts, we can change our lives, and it's true for us too. So what is the key to success? The greatest gap in success is how people think. John says you must determine to change your thinking. What does he mean by that? Change is personal. I need to change. Nobody else can change you. You need to change. I need to change. Change is possible. I'm able to change. Change is profitable. I'm rewarded by change. Those are the 3 P's of change. Remember, you must determine to change your thinking. Change is personal, change is possible, and change is profitable. The second point that John talks about is you must become intentional about thinking. Few people think more than 2 or 3 times a year. I have made an international reputation of myself by thinking once or twice a week. And that's not my quote. That's by George Bernard Shaw. But I love this quote. Imagine what you could do if you thought intentionally every day. The third point that John talks about is you must develop the thinking skills, the 11 thinking skills of successful people. He studied many successful people and he put those together in this book. So why should we be looking anywhere else than reading and studying this book? So to figure out, we need to be able to think, we need to figure out a day and time that works for us. So to figure out what time of day best suits your thinking, you have to write down your answers to the following questions. When do I feel the most energized and mentally alert? When do I feel the least energized and mentally alert? When do I have the most demands of my time? When do I have the fewest demands on my time? Optimally, you'd schedule your thinking time for when you're most mentally alert and have the fewest demands on your time. That may mean getting up early or going to bed late, but fight to carve out that time. The next is figure out what spot best suits your thinking. Write down your answers to the following questions. Where do I feel most productive? In that setting, what allows me to be productive? Can I duplicate those conditions anywhere else? And if so, how? So let's talk about the 11 thinking skills. The first question I have for you is, how can you think beyond yourself and your world and process ideas with a holistic perspective? Acquire the wisdom of big picture thinking. The second question I have for you is, how can you tune out distractions and mental clutter and concentrate with clarity on the real issue? Unleash the potential of focused thinking. Third question is, how can you break out of your box of limitations and explore ideas and options to experience a breakthrough? Discover the joy of creative thinking. The fourth question I have for you is, how can you build a solid foundation based on facts to think with certainty? Recognize the importance of realistic thinking. The fifth question is, how can you implement plans that give you direction for today and increase your potential for tomorrow? Release the power of strategic thinking. The next question is, how can you unleash your enthusiasm and hope in order to find solutions for even seemingly impossible situations? Find the energy of possibility thinking. The seventh question is, how can you revisit the past in order to gain a true perspective, learn and think with understanding? Embrace the lesson of reflective thinking. The next question is, how can you shake off the limitations of common thinking to accomplish uncommon results? Question the acceptance of popular thinking. The next question is, how can you partner with others so that your ideas compound and go from good to great? Encourage the participation of shared thinking. And that's what we do in my mastermind group. The next question is, how can you think of others and add value to them in order to make a difference? Experience the significance of unselfish thinking. The last question I have for you is, how can you focus on results and maximum return to reap the full potential of your thinking? Enjoy the return of bottom line thinking. I did my program management certification in March of 2018. I was one amongst the top 2,500 in the world to be PGMP certified through PMI, the Project Management Institute. That's me there. I joined the John Maxwell team and I hosted my first leadership event where all these keynote speakers were speaking to us from Atlanta. John Maxwell, Rachel Hollis, Angela Ahrens, Marcus Buckingham, and Chris Hogan. We had about 50 people in the room. How did I do it? I reached out to influential people in my community, Lynn Algrant, Julia Orlando, and Gail Rottenstrick. We were even published in the local newspaper for the event that I hosted. Let me talk to you about the power of reflective thinking. After I hosted the event, I wanted to do rebroadcasts of the event because I was licensed to the recording of the event. And after multiple tries, I wasn't getting the kind of audience I was looking for. After stopping and pausing and thinking, what was I doing and what was I not doing? What should I do differently? What went right? What went wrong? And what can I do differently is a question I keep asking myself. And I realized I had not been doing email marketing. And I sent an email blast to everybody on my email list. And one of those emails happened to go to someone who had left the place. And it got redirected to Eva. She is from the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. She's a manager there. She saw my email and she decided to join us and bring 2 other peers with her. What was the result of that? I was invited for a professional day event at the Community Food Bank of New Jersey as a guest speaker. So that's the power of reflective thinking. I am going to be starting a new mastermind on this book, How Successful People Think. There are 2 options for you. 6 sessions, which I would start on Mondays at 8 a.m. Or there are 6 sessions in 3 weeks, which is a fast track program on Tuesdays and Fridays at 8 a.m. If you are interested in being challenged by me and studying how successful people think, contact me for details. These are the 11 thinking skills of successful people that is in this book that we are going to be learning in depth. And I am going to be asking you probing questions so you could apply it in your life. Now that you know what you need to succeed, let's talk about application of this. John outlines the importance of thinking and the different types of thinking that we are going to learn. He also shares 2 of the keys to his success as a thinker, which we talked about briefly, having a set time and place. That's why your application for this lesson is to figure out the time and place you'll think every day. It may feel funny to begin with the time and place you're going to think, but it's a crucial starting point. Once you have answered the time and place questions, then you can spend a few days answering John's big question from this lesson. What is your definition of success? Your commitment to thinking is the key to your success. So dig in and do the work. Let's tee up everything else John is going to teach us by establishing the time and space for the thinking that lies ahead.